Good. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi.
Gareth, first of all, Harry Kane sitting next to you. Does that mean that he's the England captain?
He's captain for tomorrow, which he knew a month ago, so we'd already had that conversation. So he's certainly somebody whose leadership qualities are invaluable to us as a team. He's clearly in a very good moment as well in terms of his form, so I'm sure he'll speak about what it means to him, but we really enjoy working with him. I've obviously known him a long time, but he's improving and maturing all the time as well.
Is this going to be something that you will look at after the qualifying campaign is over to announce a full-time England captain going into the World Cup?
I haven't decided yet. I think the important thing for me was that when we looked at the group of players at the start, we saw potential leaders, but lads that haven't necessarily had experience of leading, and how do we allow that to happen? How do we give them a feel of it? And I think that's worked well over the last few months, and all of those experiences will stand them in good stead. So different situations, different opportunities to be in front of people, sharing the responsibility of the team, I think that's key.
Would it be fair to say that Harry is in pole position to be the permanent captain? I mean, if you look at the form he's been one of the first names on the team sheet. He's an ambassador for English football, he's a role model, he seems to tick all the boxes.
Gladness, yeah. Thank you. I think look, all of the things you say are absolutely true. I think the skills and qualities and experiences needed for a captain aren't just things you talked about. So I think what's important is for the lads that have led the team, but also it's not just the match day, it's everything around the camp. Thinking about how you integrate the rest of the squad, thinking about how you involve other people, thinking about the moments to step forward, leading by example, leading by a quiet word with people. There's lots of things that go towards making a good captain, and that won't happen overnight. You know, we're talking about leadership experience that comes over a longer period of time, but we have several people that I think can step into that fold now, and that can only benefit us as a team.
Will he be captain for the Lithuanian game as well?
That will depend on how things go tomorrow night.
Harry, what does it mean to you to be the England captain, and what do you think you can bring to the role?
Yeah, well, it makes me very proud, you know. I think growing up as a kid, you want to play for your country and you always dream about being captain as well, especially walking out at Wembley. That would be an amazing thing for me personally. So, like the captain said, there's plenty of leaders in the team. He said he's going to change it, and there's going to be other players who are going to be giving it as well to see how it feels. But yeah, for me personally, nothing really changes. You know, I'll go out there and try and do my job best for the team. Try and score goals and of course try and win the match.
I think one of the previous England managers, Roy Hodgson, said there may be a concern that being the captain may take something away from goal scoring ability, that extra responsibility is something I have to think about. Is that a concern for you at all when you're the captain?
No, I don't think so. I don't think having an armband on your arm makes any difference to how you play or if you score goals or not. You know, we've got plenty of leaders in the team. Whoever wears that armband, there's plenty of us who will speak up and try and help each other on the pitch. And when things get tough, be there for each other. You know, so. Like I said, for me, it's just another game to try and help the team, try and score my goals, and like I say, hopefully qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah, would you make a FIFA's decision to ban Dele Alli from one game? Do you think it was fair? Is it a relief that it's only one game?
Well, I think it's quite a unique circumstance. I think it's probably a fair outcome. I've discussed it with Delhi throughout, so he recognises his responsibilities and how things will be viewed and how his world is changing in terms of the attention on him and the spotlight on him. So he won't do it again, that's for sure. But it's an experience that he'll have learned from.
I know you've talked to him about it in the past. Are you planning on talking to him about it this week? Is it something you're going to sit down and discuss with him again? Have you said what you need to say?
No, I think we've had good conversations about loads of different things. So now my focus is, him being ready for the game on Sunday and making sure he's aware of how we're playing and all the things we're trying to do with the team. So everything else, of course, there's a desire to know everything we discuss, but he's a player who we enjoy working with. The things he does on the pitch in terms of his creativity and the way that he plays are a result of his character, and therefore with that character sometimes you do things immediately and think about them after, and all of these experiences will make him better as he goes forward. Harry,
obviously you know Daddy very well. Do you think that is an area of his game that maybe he needs to improve going forward, the discipline side?
I think he will, and like I say, from these experiences he knows the older he gets and the wiser he gets, this stuff will probably not happen as often, but like the gaffer said, he's got that character, he's a fiery person. He wants to win, he wants to be aggressive on the pitch, with the ball, without the ball. But yeah, he'll learn. He's still only 21. Sometimes it's hard to remember that because it feels like he's been around for a while now. So, but yeah, he's just got to keep his head down, keep focused on what's important. That's doing his best for the team, and I'm sure that'll be fine.
Gareth, staying at Spurs, what was the thinking behind the call-up for Harry Winks? What do you think he can bring to the squad?
Well, Harry's a player that we like. We had an opportunity with Fabian Delph leaving, we felt we needed to put another midfield player into the squad. And we had an opportunity to either look at a player for the short term who might not be with us after this month, or to integrate a young player who we think can be a future England international, give him some experience with the senior team, get him up to speed with how we train, get a closer look at him, and that's what we decided to do. We think the more we can do that moving forward, the better. We might have done that with a few other players this month as well, but certain injuries have denied us that opportunity. So for me, I'd rather invest that time in exciting young players and start to build that bond with them.
And he's another player who's redeveloped at Spurs under Richard Pochettino, being given his chance.
Well, that'd be a bit harsh on John McDermott, really, who's been here for years with him. But I take the point. The club here have been fantastic in giving young English players opportunities. In fairness, all of our big clubs at the moment have examples of good young English players that they're giving opportunities to. They're getting to work with top coaches at all of those clubs, and they're getting to play in big matches. And most of them are involved in European football this year, Champions League football, which is where we want them to be playing.
Also wanted to ask you if you could just clarify some comments that you made last week, which seemed to suggest that maybe this squad wasn't as strong as it could be. And you said that you could argue that there were one or two who didn't necessarily warrant their place in the squad based on their performances. What did you exactly mean by that?
Pretty much what I said. I think that it's clear we've got 10 or 12 players that were either in the last squad or have played for us before the summer, who would be in strong contention. So as a manager, you want competition for places. you want not just in the squad but in the starting 11. And clearly a few of the guys aren't regularly playing at their club. So what do we want? We either want, as a manager, an easy job where pretty much everybody who's available I select, or you start to have some difficult conversations around areas that players need to improve and get better at, and there's more of a challenge, and we want to be a successful team and we need a challenge. We need everybody fighting for a place because that raises the performance level. So that doesn't mean we haven't got some very good players going on the pitch tomorrow night. I'm excited about the team, and I'm looking forward to the game.
Is it something you have to sort of explain to the players to clarify your comments?
Not really. You know, I think they know what we're trying to do. They know what we're trying to head towards. I've said to them before, my job isn't to keep them happy, because that would be bloody hard work. My job is to challenge them and to create an environment to allow them to be successful. And we can't sit back in any week, in any day, in any game. We've got to make sure that every session we have, we get something from. So if we get when we get the results we want over the next couple of weeks, heading towards next summer, I hope to have the dilemma of picking 23. So if that's 23 from 38 that we're possibly looking at, there's going to be some difficult calls to make. But in the end, managers don't necessarily select teams, players do, because of the way they're playing and the form that they're in.
And on Slovenia, you know they're not doing any pushovers. They're playing very well against you last year. What kind of challenge do you think it's going to be tomorrow night?
Well, they have to win. The position in the group, Slovakia's next game is against Malta, so you would expect them to win that. So Slovenia have to win, which makes them a dangerous opponent. Up to this point, they've not conceded many goals at all, so there's a great challenge for us. Can we change that stat? We've got a team with exciting attacking talent, and we are a win away from getting to Russia, which is something we're excited about and something that we want the whole country to be excited about. So it would be nice to put on a performance that shows everybody we mean business and that we're improving as a team.
And on the goalkeeping situation, we saw Joe Hart having a bit of treatment on one of his ankles this morning. Is that at all a concern? Is he 100% fit?
No, I think we always have players who are receiving bits of treatment for different things, but unless the medical team comes to tell me something differently in an hour or so, there's no concerns with any of the squad at the moment.
You think Joe Hart will start tomorrow?
Well, why would I give Slovenia our team?
Thank you.
Sorry. Hi Gareth, just picking up on talking about the selection for you and not that many top quality England players that you have to choose. You hope you have a 23 in 6-7 months time. BBC Sport website done a lot of number crunching, looking at perhaps the next generation, the England squads to come, the under-21s, and the pitiful percentage of the under-21s playing in top divisions compared to Germany, Italy, Spain. That's got to be of greater concern as well going forward, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, let me be clear. I think we've got some really exciting players, some very exciting young players that can form a really successful team over the next few years. So I'm not concerned about a lack of talent. If I'm looking longer term, am I concerned about opportunity for young players? Yeah, absolutely, because that's something that for the last few years working with the under-21s and the age groups below that, I'm only too aware of. There's obviously, I've seen the article. It is a very good study around top flight playing opportunities. It's the consequence of the strength of our league, the money in our league, and for young players to progress, coaching is important, practice is important, but in the end they need the challenge and the experience of playing competitive matches at the highest possible level. In other countries, resource probably dictates that they get that opportunity, or lack of resource dictates that. Here, the challenge is greater, so there's an element of our youngsters having to recognise the challenge that they face. They've got to be as good as players from all around the world to get the chance. If their mentality is right, coupled with their ability, then they'll get there. So, you know, we can look at quotas and putting pressure in other areas, but there's a responsibility on the players as well, as there is for English coaches. If we want opportunities, then we've got to make ourselves the best possible coach we can.
It's been another very dominant qualifying display from England. I mean, there's been a conscious decision, obviously, to get some friendlies against the top teams. Just the draw under your is the best that you've done against the top teams you had in those friendlies. How ready would this squad be if the World Cup was in a couple of weeks' time to be competitive?
Yeah, fortunately, it isn't, and that's part of the process. You know, we know. Against those top teams, we've had long spells where we've played very well, and we've scored goals against really good sides, and for long periods of those games looked really dangerous. So part of our evolving as a team is to make that over a 90-minute period and turn those encouraging performances into results. But our focus has to be tomorrow. You know, our focus has to be winning the game tomorrow, and then we can start to think about what we're doing mid and long term on our playing.
On his game, Dele Alli is clearly a world-class player who can make a difference in those matches against top teams. His conduct has cost him 3 matches at the highest level for Spurs, a match tomorrow for his country. Are you worried on top of that about his form for his club as well, which seems to be well below the levels he was at last season?
Well, that's an opinion, as is the opinion that is he world class at the moment, or yet. Difficult always to know what that benchmark is. So I would say we have a lot of young players who are on the cusp of something very exciting, but until they perform consistently and win medals and win trophies at the highest possible level, then we can start to talk about world class. In terms of his form, I think he's shown, you know, with Tottenham, he's in the right areas, he arrives in the right areas. He hasn't scored as many goals as I think he wants to at the moment, talking to him. But for every young player, there's always opportunity to improve, and he wants to do that as much as anybody else.
Harry, I mean, between now and the World Cup, fingers crossed that England pick up a couple of points they need over the next week. How do you feel that you can improve going into a World Cup?
I think just adding to what I've already got, you know, keep working on the finishing, keep working on my physical condition, recovery, all things that are going to be important, especially going into a World Cup where you play so many games in a short space of time. A lot of it is physical and mental as well. So yeah, for me, I try not to think too far ahead. I try and go week by week and go from there. I train very hard. I want to do my best for the team every game. Yeah, so from now until then, I'll just continue doing what I'm doing.
These back-to-back England games, I suppose, just as important for your development and back-to-back matches against Real Madrid.
Yeah, definitely. It's important to obviously qualify. It's a great chance to be a part of that. To send an England team to a World Cup, you know. So I'm excited. It's going to hopefully be a fantastic atmosphere at Wembley tomorrow. And they're important games, and it's an important learning curve for me. Hopefully another couple of caps, and then yeah, after that it goes back into club mode, and I focus the same for Madrid as I would for Bournemouth at home. You know, it's the same mindset.
And Gareth, we saw how great it was to have 3 home nations at the Euros last summer in the next few days. But as it stands mathematically, all 4 can get to Russia. Would be good, wouldn't it? It'd be great to get as many there as possible, because that really sort of enriched that tournament, I thought, last summer anyway.
Yeah, my job is to get England there. I'm not too concerned about anything else. I've got obviously friends that are coaching with those other countries, and I want them to do well on a personal level. But as the manager of England, my job is to get England to those finals, to get our country excited about going to Russia with a young team that can only improve, and it's a great challenge for us.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Radio's upstairs, back in here for the afterwards. Thank you.